Donald Trump just got confronted to his face for his history of racist comments at an event for the National Association of Black Journalists, and it may be the funniest thing I have seen all day. I have no clue what Donald Trump was thinking walking into a building full of seasoned black journalists who absolutely hate him and thinking that he could just say stuff like this. Watch this clip.
I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabid to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
That is a great question, and notice, look at how visibly uncomfortable Donald Trump got on stage. Now let's take a guess really quickly. How is Donald Trump going to respond? Is he going to own up to his mistakes in the past? Is he going to pivot and deflect and talk about random stuff? Is he going to attack the journalist, or is he going to double down? Or a combination of all of the worst things? Let's take a look.
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question so in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country.
Donald Trump immediately turns nasty and begins attacking the journalist on stage. If the journalist really wanted to dig into Donald Trump's full racist history, I mean everything he said, they would be there all night, but Donald Trump can't own up to what he said. Donald Trump immediately has to deflect and attack and say, why can't you just be nice when Donald Trump is the one who has a history of being incredibly racist? He wanted to come there and just pander and try to win over a few African American voters, and when he couldn't do that, when he was actually confronted on his racist history, he throws a tantrum. Trump then talks about Kamala Harris not being actually black. I mean, this one is just wild to me. Take a look and make sure you leave a like on this video as well.
Then we'll move on to other questions here. Some of your own supporters, including Republicans on Capitol Hill, have labeled Vice President Kamala Harris, who is the first black and Asian American woman to serve as vice president and be on a major party ticket, as a DEI hire. Is that acceptable language to you? And will you tell those Republicans and those supporters to stop it?
How do you define DEI? Go ahead. How do you define
diversity, equity, inclusion?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Is that what your definition?
That is
give me a
literally
definition
the words
then. Would you give me a definition
DEI.
of that? Give me a definition of
Sir,
that.
I'm asking you a question.
Is he trying to act tough and play games, or does Donald Trump actually not know the definition? I think he actually is so dumb, he doesn't know the definition. He doesn't know how to respond, so he's acting like it's some sort of game.
You have to define it. Define it for me, if you would.
I just defined it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Well, I can say, no, I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She is always identified as a black woman. She went to a historic...
Donald Trump is so dumb. I'm sorry to keep pausing it, but this man is so dumb that he can't hold 2 ideas in his head at once. VP Harris has always been partially black and always been partially Indian. These 2 things can both be true at the same time, but Donald Trump is sitting there on stage in front of an American flag doing his accordion hands, just being so divisive and racist in a country that is built on inclusion, in a country that is built on freedom of religion, freedom of speech, a melting pot of different cultures. Here's Donald Trump trying to not only just take away the vote of the American people, disenfranchise black voters, but then go on stage and gaslight black voters. It's just so frustrating, but let's continue.
Black college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she went she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do
And
you
I
believe
think,
that
I think
she is
somebody should look into that too when you ask, continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
It's a direct question, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is a DEI hire, as some
I
Republicans
really
have
don't
said?
know. I mean, I really don't know. Could be.
Breaking news, Donald Trump cannot answer direct questions even though he's 80 years old almost. Also, this is just disgusting. On screen they're making Donald Trump look like the Birch Gold group. Meanwhile, he's on stage doubling down on his racism. Notice how he didn't answer the question about DEI. He gave no solid answer to the question. He couldn't even disavow it. Just like he couldn't disavow the Proud Boys on stage, he couldn't disavow DEI. In fact, he doubled down on saying that VP Harris was never black until recently, which again, I want to reiterate, that is not true. Donald Trump repeatedly doubts people's race, doubts people's nationalities. It is so disgusting. Let's continue with this next clip.
Prosecute him. I won the case, and it got very little publicity. I didn't notice ABC doing any publicity on it, George.
We covered you
George
extensively, sir. I'd love to move over on to different topics.
I didn't notice you do any publicity on it at all. I won the case, the biggest case. This is an attack on a political opponent. I have another one where
Sir,
I have
if you
a
don't mind, I'd
hostile
love
judge.
to. We have you for a limited time, sir. I'd love to move on to different
No,
topics.
excuse you.
if we
You're the
can.
one that held me up for 35 minutes, just so you understand.
If we can move on now to.
We're not going to.
Donald Trump's disrespect towards Rachel Scott on stage is absolutely wild, and it made the entire crowd gasp.
Sir, I'd
Listen.
love to move on to different
No,
topics.
excuse you.
if we
You're the
can.
one that held me up for 35 minutes, just so you understand.
The absolute disrespect to walk into a building full of accomplished black journalists as a man with a racist history and not only just not be able to own up to your past, but to double down on those comments on stage and then to disrespect the women journalists on stage around you is absolutely wild. And I hope this stirs something up in Donald Trump that really shows how racist he is to the American people. I'm assuming this anger in him on stage is somehow going to carry over to VP Harris because Donald Trump just has this innate hatred towards accomplished black women. So I'm assuming he's going to start going extra hard towards Kamala Harris. He's going to start using extra nasty attacks. And just the rhetoric Donald Trump uses on stage at this conference is honestly unbelievable.
So let's talk about JD Vance for a little bit. He's had some stumbles out of the gate. I don't know if you're hearing what we hear as reporters, but it's been a tough couple of weeks for him. Why did you choose JD Vance?
Why
did you choose him? And I'm having a hard time hearing too. I know everybody out there can, but it's hard to hear.
I'll tell you why. I chose him because he's a very strong believer in work and the working man and woman, and especially the working man and woman who have been treated very unfairly, because you have many of them in this room. But you have many of those people, they were treated very unfairly. They worked very hard and they were treated unfairly. He wrote.
JD Vance is in favor of the working men and women, except if you're a man or a woman who doesn't have a child, is not able to have one for some sort of medical reason, or is just single for some reason. JD Vance is for the working men and women, but he sold his soul to Donald Trump at the first chance he got and abandoned his home state. Either way, if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed seeing Donald Trump crumble on stage, make sure you leave a like, make sure you comment a blue heart, hit that subscribe button, go join the Adam Mockler subreddit, the Adam Mockler Discord. We are building a great community over there that you can be a part of, where we laugh together, cheer together, panic together, cry together, all heading into this insane election. So go join it, but most importantly, have a great day, and I will see you guys in the next video.